Hey you guys, it is that time. Pick a story wherein one of these decks should be a story for you. So I'm going to start by holding each deck up to the screen and I want you to see if it's resonating with you. So could your story be here in deck number 1? Okay, or would your story be here in deck number 2? Is your story in here? Or is your story here in deck number 3? Could your story be here in deck number 3? All right, so I hope you have picked a card or a deck. We'll go ahead and start with deck number 1. And this is for July the 9th through the 17th, or the 8th, I'm sorry, the 10th through the 17th, or whenever you happen to stumble across this video. So we have the 9 of Swords, the 2 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, 10 of Swords, 6 of Cups as the central issue, along with the Knight of Cups and the 8 of Swords. Okay, so central issue 6 of Cups. It looks as if there is a need to reconnect. Someone may have just recently re-entered your life, or they're getting ready to. I'm seeing things dealing with like secrets, dealing with matters of the heart, dealing with emotions and being in love. I feel that someone has been not able to get their mind off of you, or you them. And so this person may be on their way back to you. They may be on a way and they're ready to open up and talk about how they feel. There's something between the two of you. There's some sort of spark. I feel like in a past life, someone was the parent of the other. Usually things to indicate that in astrology would be to look at the north node and the south node, especially more so the south node. If you have like connections with the moon, the sun, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Really, though, for parents, it's usually like sun or the moon. If you have any of those connections with this person, with the South Node, it can be a strong indication that it was a parent-child relationship in a previous life. If there is a connection with the North Node, then it's more so of what this person has come to teach you in this life. From my understanding, because sometimes I do get it mixed up, the person with the North Node, the Node person is the person that has to learn the lesson, whether it's North or South. The Node person has to learn the lesson. The planet person is the one that you're going to learn that lesson through. So if someone is bringing you their moon, there may be a need to understand emotions. If someone is, or opening up, or how to share emotions. If it's the sun, maybe there's something in regards to like leadership. Maybe there's a need to explore leadership and things dealing with the sun, possibly more children. So something along the lines of that. But I do feel that Someone is getting ready to return into your life if they haven't already. I do see that there is a rebuilding of trust between some people. I almost feel too like someone calls you while you're asleep at night or while you're napping. There's a need for you to stop worrying about something. Maybe you've been having a lot of dreams. Someone may be like when you get stressed, I don't know if you're the type of person that will take a nap, but I kind of get that. Like when you feel stressed or overwhelmed, you're like, I need to go to sleep. I just want to sleep. Sometimes too, that's a sign of depression when you are constantly sleeping, just sleeping all the time. Especially if it's like you're frustrated because you can't figure out your future. You're too concerned about the past or the future. There's more of a need to just kind of live in the present. And just learn to surrender, because I see there's a lot of mental stress going on, and that could be with anything that's going on in your life. You could be stressed about your job. You could be stressed about children. You could be stressed about falling out with a friend or a lover. I do feel that there has been some sort of ongoing cycle. If this is about a love situation, I feel like you guys are having a hard or difficult time getting things off the ground, because the both of you are still struggling with insecurities and struggling with these thoughts that maybe you're not good enough, or just expecting the worst, or comparing situations with your past, things that didn't work out. It's still a lot of baggage that needs to be worked through. I also feel like someone is lovesick. You know how you start feeling like butterflies in your stomach every time you think about this person. You just feel just nauseated. Sometimes you love someone so much, or you care about them so much to the point where you just feel nauseated. And it's just like, I just wish I would stop thinking about them. I wish I, had never met them, just for the sake of this illness, this feeling of sickness. Now, maybe things are going fine, but it's still, for whatever reason, there's a lot of suppressed fears resurfacing. I feel like there is some sort of, it's anxiety triggers that this person is waking up, or you might be waking this up in them. I really feel like it's mutual, with the sixes as the central issue here. Some of you have been meditating or holding on to your crystals, or trying to charge your crystals. I can't stop thinking about how my crystal disappeared. This is making me think of like a fairy, literally somewhere in another dimension playing with your crystals. And I did read that sometimes your crystals disappear so that they can be recharged, and then they come back. I've read several things about those crystals disappearing. Sometimes the crystal disappears because it served its purpose, and you no longer need it. Sometimes the crystal disappears because there's someone else that needs it more than you, but it will be returned to you. So there are different reasons why that crystal may have disappeared, that I've explained to you guys that read my post. This is a strange phenomenon I didn't know about, crystals disappearing. But yeah, I got like the literal picture of a fairy light playing with your crystals. Maybe it's just for the sake that they like it. I also feel like there's someone who is studying dance, or someone who is torn between what they should study in college. They're overwhelmed. It's like, should I take fine arts, or should I, stick to something more practical? So I feel like there is some sort of imbalance or confusion or indecisiveness. Now, I do see clarity on the way. There will be clarity, especially in, any decision that you have to make, even if it's love or career. I feel like it's going to be clarity. And once clarity is made, then someone may be approaching you with how they feel, talking about how they feel. Now, the only thing that is still disturbing is the Ten of Swords. Either you may be declining some sort of opportunities coming towards you. It could be two opportunities. Maybe there's two people coming at you from your past that you just absolutely want nothing to do with. Maybe they're an air sign or a water sign. So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And you are just so over either of these signs. You're like, no, thank you. You know, I'll just suffer alone. I'll die alone. I don't know. I just kind of feel that you are not really wanting whatever is being offered to you as well. It also could be that once a secret comes out, you're like, I'm dead. I can't with you, or I can't, that's a deal breaker. Something may be the straw that breaks the camel's back is what I'm getting. If you're already in a relationship, I don't know what's going on with you all, but there seems to be some sort of old patterns that are being repeated. Someone is having some sort of anxieties or dealing with some sort of issues that they don't really want to talk about. I feel like someone is feeling like they maybe can't share something with you, or they just don't want to because they just don't want to bring you down. I see someone eventually having some sort of, I hate to say mental breakdown, but it is kind of like someone just kind of falling out and saying, I can't take this anymore. Like, this is too much to deal with. I'm tired. And just kind of having a purge, having to release all the sadness or anger or frustration that you're dealing with. Maybe you're having some sort of clarity or realization about your spiritual path. Maybe you're realizing that you need to let something go, or sacrifice something in order to gain more spirituality. Some of you may be realizing that you do need to love yourself. Maybe there's not enough self-love. I get the energy of feeling alone. Even if you're in a relationship, something about it feels lonely. Like maybe you're feeling like the person just doesn't get you or doesn't understand what you're going through. Maybe you are in a relationship and you're in the middle of a spiritual awakening. That can be a really lonely place because maybe this person has no clue what you're talking about. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not seeing number synchronicities. You know, you just feel like you want to talk about things dealing with spirituality and growth and third eye awakenings, and the person that you're with, they're like, I just don't understand. I just don't get it. So maybe you're feeling like, you know, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm at a loss of words then. I don't know if it's this imagery, but I just feel like there's like you're trying to climb out of a dark place. I don't know if this has already happened or if it is getting ready to happen for some of you. For some of you, maybe I am picking up on past energy. Like these are things that have recently happened. If so, you could be getting ready to come out of that phase or out of that darkness. This could also be the end to an anxiety cycle. You know, maybe you're going to be wrestling with your thoughts for the next few days or so, and then finally you get some peace. You also may be spreading yourself too thin, career-wise. You may need to take a break, even if you're working for yourself. It may be time for you to return to something that you used to be passionate about, especially if it's dealing with writing, because I'm seeing all these swords. there's something, a strong emphasis on communication. So whether your style of communication is through speech or the pen, the typewriter, whatever, there may be a need for you to get back to that. Let me look at the Nine of Swords. Some of you are having anxiety about death. I don't know what type of anxiety that is, but I used to suffer from that, where it's a sense of doom everywhere. You just keep thinking you're about to die. It's like you might not necessarily be afraid of death, but you're afraid of when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, and it just feels like it's getting ready to happen. Like that was like the worst feeling in the world. I don't know what that was. And it was happening during a time where Saturn was opposite my moon. So these feelings also could have something to do with these transits, especially with Saturn. So if Saturn is in harsh aspect, I don't know that a trine would cause that, but if like your moon is in Cancer and Saturn is transiting Capricorn right now and looking at your moon, it can cause like some anxiety. If your moon is in Capricorn and Saturn is currently transiting Capricorn, it might be close to your moon and bringing out these unknown fears. It's like you have this feeling like, why am I so afraid? What are these fears? Also, if you are Aquarius rising, that means that Saturn is transiting your 12th house. That also brings out some sort of unknown fears. It's like you're afraid of it's like you can't pinpoint what you're afraid of. If that's also your 12th house, sometimes you might feel the energies of people who have crossed over in your home. So it's almost like you feel haunted. So, those are certain transits, and this is why I like to stress about learning astrology, because it helps you understand what you're going through, why you're suffering. It just has really helped me since I stumbled onto it. When you're trying to figure out why you can't meet anybody, I bet you it's in astrology. Guarantee you it's in astrology. When you're sick, when you're going through some sort of illness, there's something called medical astrology. Guarantee you could figure out what's wrong with you through that. So astrology to me really has like all the answers. I feel like that is a hidden knowledge that was given to us. Yeah, you could be thinking about an air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, or it's just another indication of poor communication. Oh my God, you guys are so stressed. You guys are having so much anxiety. Yeah, I feel like somebody wants to open up with the person that they love or care about, but for whatever reason, they're not. Now, also, you could be dealing with someone who's very manipulative, someone who you love, but at the same time, this person manipulates you, or you might be the manipulator. You might not realize that you are manipulating someone by making them feel pressured into doing something they're not ready to do. Or I don't know if you're trying to rush someone when they're not ready. Could be dealing with Earth, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. I feel too like what could be going on is that two people are going in separate directions for whatever reason. And it's like, but why? Or like, I don't know why I'm breaking up, or I don't understand why we broke up. Like something isn't making sense to you. Like I feel like you're trying to make logical sense out of something that should just be a matter of the heart. Like you're trying to apply too much logic to something that depends on your heart and intuition. It's almost like, let's say you feel like you met the love of your life. And you're like, but how? You know, instead of just going with it, you're trying to figure it out. Or maybe something was moving too fast and you were like, society says it shouldn't be like this. Society says we should first go on several dates and, you know, follow these steps. And then, you know, society says, so it's like because you're going based off of what society says or other people's opinions, you start pulling apart from somebody. And that might be the unnatural thing to do. You might be going against nature, because here you're supposed to be following your heart, following your intuition. Also, you might just be torn between two people. You could be dealing with fire, Aries, Leo, Sag. Or you might be trying to go in one direction because you think it makes sense, but your heart is telling you to go in this direction. So logically you're like, but you know, I should be with this person because I should be, because, you know, but for whatever reason, this person is the one that has the money, or this is the person that, you know, has stability. But my heart is being pulled towards the person that doesn't have anything, or my heart is being pulled towards the person that doesn't make sense. But you're trying to go in a different direction. I think your logic is just kind of throwing you off. I think your logic is throwing you off. This is a matter of the heart, but you might be going against what is meant for you. I also saw distance may be something that is tearing you apart. I'm seeing someone also has been dreaming about you every night, or you have been dreaming about someone every night. I'm going to look at the Ten of Swords. Man, I just feel like something or someone is in a state of confusion about your entire situation, whether it's love, career, finances. Your finances, you might be struggling as well. And it is really, instead of just trusting that everything's going to be okay, you're overthinking something. I feel like there's a sense of urgency or panic going on with you. So I'm just looking at the Ten of Swords next. I just heard like the phrase fallen angel. I don't know what that might mean for you. Fallen angel. Someone was your angel. That made me think of Anita Baker's song. You're my angel. Somebody might be unfollowing you, or you might decide to unfollow somebody. Maybe you've been putting someone on a pedestal. Maybe you've been putting too much emphasis on someone who is not paying attention to you. You could be dealing with someone who's very attractive or very popular. You might feel like the only way to get over or to move on from someone is to just delete them out your life. So maybe you're like, you know what, I need to delete this person off of my Facebook. I need to delete them from my Instagram. I need to stop following them. I need to stop looking for them. Even if they don't have social media, maybe you're just like, and you've been trying to search for them. Maybe you're like, I got to stop searching for them. I got to stop this. I got to stop following them. Maybe you have been literally following them, or someone's been following you, like driving by your home if they know where you live. See, I feel like someone also keeps reaching a dead end too. Someone might block or delete you, and you're like, where did they go? And you just keep looking for them, but they felt like they needed to block or delete. Yeah, I feel like some of you are letting something go, or deciding to finally let something go so that you can find yourself. Maybe you found out that you are too consumed. Maybe you're too consumed with somebody, and it's just kind of taking a life out of you, or you feel like it's taking a breath out of you. Yeah, something has you completely dysfunctional right now. I feel like you haven't been able to eat or sleep properly. Something's going on with you. Because your mental isn't right, in the right state of mind. You're having it's affecting your life too much. So I feel like you're at some point, you're like, I have to let it go. It's time to let it go. It's time to move on. So I feel like you guys are finally going to release a situation that's been driving you crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to deck number 2. Oh my God, 9 of Swords, the Chariot, the Devil, 4 of Cups, 6 of Swords. Some of the same energies coming out. Hierophant, the Moon, and the Star. And look at the bottom, 6 of Cups. Oops, somebody's going to return out the blue. Someone's just going to show up and show out in your life. Okay, so central issue here, we have major arcanas coming out, and I feel that something will be confirmed with you that gives you a peace of mind. The Star is here telling you that maybe you thought something was out of reach, and it's not. You thought something maybe would never be a reality, but I feel like with the Hierophant, it is. This is some sort of physical manifestation. It represents the sign of Taurus. And I feel like this is air energy. And then we have the Moon dealing with your emotions. So whatever it is that you've been worried about, or that has been consuming you, like your faith is being restored, basically, with both of these coming out together. I feel like something happens to restore your faith in a relationship, something that restores your faith in a person, something that restores your faith in yourself, your career, what direction you're supposed to be going in. Spirituality. Maybe something happened and you were like, I don't know if I believe in this method anymore. I don't know if I believe in law of attraction. I don't know if I believe in whatever the case is. I don't believe in astrology anymore. And then something happens to restore your faith, and you feel like, oh, I had to learn a lesson. This was something that I had to learn, you know, and it makes you a wiser person. Now you are able to teach people about the things that you experienced. Now you're able to teach people what it felt like to be in darkness, what it felt like when you were going through abandonment issues. You're just able to kind of share You're able to share things with other people because now you've walked in so many different shoes. You're able to relate to a lot of people. And I feel like you are like living up to this light or this status here that the universe has set out for you. I almost feel like the universe is like, you're supposed to be the head of the table here. We've set this up for you. This is your place in the sky. I also had a similar message about something about being immortalized in a sense. Now, I know that's not going to be for everyone, but you could still be immortalized in your reality, in your little space, you know, whatever it is that you do. You have the opportunity to be immortalized for being able to put yourself out there and help society or humanity the way that you do. So maybe you have your own signature twist on how you help people or guide people. I just feel like you are making a name for yourself. If you are an astronomer, I feel like someone maybe discovers a star. And, you know, when you discover a star, it's usually named after the person. Unfortunately, it's like that for hurricanes, too, whoever discovers that hurricane. So I don't know if you are a meteorologist or, you know, just something of that sort where your name gets immortalized, like you get recognized for something. But I feel like it's for something positive. I also feel like someone is still afraid, someone still has some sort of insecurities, or someone still is very shy and has problems expressing their true identity or their innermost fears, like being vulnerable to the public, or with your personal relationships. But someone needs you to be vulnerable at this time. Like it's needed. Your openness is going to help someone or many people. So you're being asked to just put your knowledge on display here. Put your pain on display, your anxieties on display. I almost feel like someone is like, I'm an open book now. Ask me anything. Someone is just kind of like up for any questions. It's like, ask me anything and I'll tell you. And it's like, okay, you challenged us, so now we're getting ready to ask you about everything. So it's just like, oh my God, this is scary, but okay, let's go. I'm an open book. You might be dealing with someone who's an open book. Some of you have been led to your guru, whether your guru is in the form of a romantic partner or a literal teacher-student situation, but I feel like you're being led. I see this too, like someone has sent out a distress signal. Maybe you intuitively know that someone needs help. This always makes me think of Batman, and both of these are about being up in the air, up in the sky. So I feel like someone has sent out some sort of distress signal, and this is your response. You're taking your bank of knowledge to assist someone in a time of emotional need. Someone may be going through some sort of emotional trauma. Someone may be trying to connect with you telepathically as opposed to coming to you directly. So there is some sort of indirect communication going on. Or maybe you're the one that's been sending out distress signals, and someone confirms that, you know, they acknowledge your existence or the fact that you needed to talk. The fact that you needed a hug. Someone might just walk up to you and hug you, or say, is it okay if I hug you? I just felt like you needed a hug. Maybe that's something that you've wanted to do. I've talked about that before. Like, I just sometimes want to hug strangers. Well, not like randomly, but just like sit outside with the sign that says free hugs. I've always been advised not to do that. Like, please, you can't do that with anybody. But it's something about me. And there's a lady, and I forget her full name, but she's Ama somebody. I've talked about her before. I probably posted about her a long time ago. And she gives hugs to people. She has like some sort of healing properties within herself. And she hugs people and she just heals them. Sometimes I feel like I want to do that. Like, what if I give off some sort of energy that could heal people? You know, and sometimes that's why I get the urge to just kind of touch. Like, I always talk about nurturing people. I think too, that is another reason why I'm into like touching, like dealing with the human body. Like my spiritual path, I know it's still not finished. And I do want to get into something that has to deal with maybe touching people or healing them through touch. And yes, I know Reiki has something to do with that. And I still say tantric. Well, I know you can't go around having tantric sex with everybody, but there is something where you can heal those areas of people. So just those type of things that I'm drawn to naturally. But maybe this is also telling you that you need to step into your calling, or that there's an opportunity on the way for you to rise as a healer, a leader, a speaker. So a lot of this could have to do with your career. I feel too romantically, you're in denial about a connection or someone who's in your life or coming into your life. Maybe a psychic or an advisor has already told you, like, hey, this is the person that you're supposed to be with. And you're like, no, I don't believe that. I disagree. I don't want to deal with this person. I don't want to deal with that energy. And this is just an example. But, you know, a lot of times I do get people saying, no, thank you. I don't have time to be helping nobody. And I am guilty of that too. You know, it's just like, it comes up in the readings all the time. And it's just like, I don't have time to fix nobody. But it might be something that you are spiritually contracted to do. You might owe some sort of karmic debt to this person with the devil. You might be indebted to someone. Maybe someone looked out for you big time in a previous life. And they like, this life, I like freaking need you. You know, especially seeing the moon card here. And the devil makes me think someone could, this is like an illness, a mental illness or sickness. Someone could be going through depression, and maybe they can't find their way out. Maybe you are the light. Maybe you're the person that can help them. Maybe this person can't really connect with anybody else but you. And you're like, I don't want to deal with the devil. I don't want that codependent energy on me. But maybe that is your karmic debt. Someone may be coming towards you that's definitely going to be emotionally needy. You still need to set boundaries with this energy. You need to learn how to balance that. You may need to learn how to balance how you work with this person, this energy. And I just gave an example to a client yesterday and it's the same picture I'm getting. Those of you that are fans of Interview with a Vampire, even I think they did this in True Blood. There's, you know how the vampire has to, like, if something was going on where maybe you were dying or something and a vampire needed to feed from you, or there's these people that hang around vampires and they're just kind of like feeders, and so the vampire is only supposed to feed off of you a little bit and then just be like, stop. No, it's the person that has to feed off the vampire because they have the magic blood or whatever. But it's like, especially when you're just awakening to becoming a vampire. So let's say you were dying and a vampire was like, here, feed from me and you won't die. And so it's like the minute they start feeding, something about that blood is like a rush, and they don't want to stop. And a vampire is like, stop, stop, you're killing me. Because if you keep draining from the vampire, you can kill them. So there is a need to set boundaries with that energy. It's like you need to figure out a way. You need to like spoon feed somebody. It's like, okay, back off. That's enough. Like we can't have you doing this all the time, or I can't have you doing this all the time. You know, we're not going to be doing like this all the time. We have boundaries that need to be set. No, you can't follow me. No, we can't talk on the phone all night. No, we can't do whatever. So there's something where someone may be coming towards you that's in need of assistance because they might be going through some sort of depression. And this is a karmic debt with the devil here, Saturn. It's a karmic debt that you have with this person. So maybe it's your duty or obligation to assist this person, but with boundaries. So figure out what those boundaries are. Because if you don't, they will feed and feed and feed from you. Now, if this can be different for some of you. Some of you, this may be you dealing with a narcissist. I'm not telling you to stick with a narcissist, because narcissists, from my experience and the things that I've read, are incapable of giving you the same type of love back. Which is too much. It's hurtful. It's just unacceptable. So I'm not telling you to deal with the narcissist if that's your situation, especially if you already know who this person is. If no means no with that energy. No means no. You know, you have to ignore it. You have to learn how to ignore their calls. You have to learn how to let them go. You have to move on from that type of energy. If you see someone is not improving, you know, it's like, hey, we need to cut off the treatment. We need to cut it off then, because you're not growing, you're not evolving, you're just still codepending on my energy to survive, and you can't survive and feast off of my energy alone. Now I'm also getting the energy of someone who could be very jealous. And this person may come towards you very controlling or possessive. This person knows how to play on your heartstrings. So again, just be very careful with this energy. You really have to create a personal space or personal boundaries with somebody. This can even apply to a job situation, where someone is maybe taking all of your time and energy at work, and you know that there's no work-life balance. You need to speak up for yourself. You know that company is not going to make or break you. You know, there are other companies that will give you a proper work-life balance. Or maybe you're now holding on to a job out of fear. Maybe you were once passionate about it, but now you're doing it out of fear. That even if you were a teacher or a psychologist or some sort, maybe now it's getting to the point where you're like, this is feeling draining, or this isn't fun anymore. Like, I feel like people are energy vampires, or I feel like all these students need me too much, or I feel like my efforts are going in vain. You know, so something's happening maybe in your career where you're feeling like you're being taken advantage of, or you're just putting way too much energy into it, and it's just not fun anymore. Well, I knew my candle was gonna go out. But we have here to someone who is also, I feel like someone is compulsive or has OCD. I almost feel like you are trying to disassociate yourself from someone, but it only makes things worse. The more you ignore someone, either the more turned on they're getting, or the more obsessive they're becoming. So something's going on where you may be feeling like you need space, but someone is just getting, it just makes the situation worse. It's like pouring oil on a fire. Somebody feels like they just need to escape or get away, and I feel like that is what's going to be doing. Now, what's going to be happening? I also feel that if you're in a situation where it's a love situation where you guys live at a distance, I feel like someone is on their way to come see you. Maybe someone's been under too much stress. They're like, I hate my life here. Everything has been hectic. Can I come and visit you? I just need a break. I need to run away. Everybody's been bothering me. So maybe someone's getting ready to come towards you, or maybe this is your energy. Maybe you've been feeling like that, and maybe you want to run off and hide. So you go towards your friend or your loved one, someone that, your love interest, and you're like, I need to just come stay with you for a while. Come hide me out. So for some of you, I feel like someone may be coming towards you, or you're going towards someone to hide, though. Something else I was getting here. I'm actually getting a lot of messages from this situation. Someone is also covering up the fact that they may have some sort of codependency or bad habits. Someone is trying to keep that private or a secret. They don't like to talk about it. So whether it's drinking, smoking, a sexual addiction, an eating addiction, some sort of weird OCD thing. Like, I know somebody that was addicted to eating cornstarch. That is like they just eat it with a spoon or sip it with a straw, like the box of cornstarch. Just that feeling, I guess, that it makes on your tongue. Someone might be hiding the fact that they have some sort of compulsive disorder. Someone might like to masturbate like crazy. Someone might have a porn addiction. They might be just trying to hide that or keep it secret. I also feel like something is in a closet where it could be a sexual fetish, but I was getting something in regards to childhood abuse, whether it was verbal, physical, or both. I feel like someone could have been abused as a child, and this is why it's hard for someone to show emotions or hard for someone to open up. It takes somebody a long time to gain trust with other people. You might have some sort of healing abilities where this person is able to eventually open up and trust you. Some of you may be work in the travel industry, or you could be dealing with someone who works in the travel industry. I feel that someone has been unsuccessful at blocking you out of their mind. Like that image of you, or this could be happening to you, that image of that person is just, you're having a hard time really trying to block this person out. Could be dealing with a Cancer, Capricorn, Taurus, Pisces, Aquarius, or any sign for that matter. Maybe Gemini. I'm going to look at the Devil here. Someone's getting ready to communicate with how they feel about you. There is an intense connection or an intense attraction that you may be having with someone. I feel like you're trying to block or guard your energy from this person, or you might be in denial or trying, like you're guarded or defensive. You're like, stay away from me. But at the same time, you feel the same way. There's a need for you to assess your situation. I feel like there's a need for you to really figure out what it is that you want in a partnership, or is this person worth investing time and energy into? It's almost like you feel like maybe you met the perfect person, but there's something going on that holds you back or makes you guarded towards them. I'm also seeing someone who has been thinking about you every day, or you them, and someone's getting ready to talk about that. They've been preparing something, playing something out, practicing. Yeah, it could be Virgo as well, could be Libra. Someone, okay, I almost feel too like you may have at one point been offered something. Like someone said, why don't you come visit me? Or why don't you come work for me? Why don't you come do this? And you told the person you would think about it. And now this person, now you may be wanting to know if the offer still stands. You're like, does that offer still stand? Did you still want to work together? Did you still want to come to my house? Did you still want a place to stay? Like, I feel like somebody is revisiting some thought, some idea, something you said or something they said was put out there. And then it went into, well, I don't know, let me think about it. How would that work? How would this work? And again, we have like that spiritual contract with somebody. You have a contract, or maybe you feel like, I feel like the law of karma is being played out, basically. But you might be fighting against it, which kind of makes things worse. There needs to be some sort of adjustments. I feel like you have been taking your time trying to figure out, you know, what you need to do, what steps you need to take. Okay, I know I've been talking a long time, but I'm being told to go ahead and clarify the Nine of Swords. Somebody keeps looking at your picture, or you keep looking at someone's picture. I don't know if it's saved in your phone, or if it's just a matter of going back to someone's social media over and over again. Yes, someone has been going crazy trying to figure out which direction to take, because someone was torn, whether it is like, should I take this opportunity over here, but if I do, it's out of state or it's far away. Should I pursue this person for a serious romantic relationship, but they live so far away? I think distance is an issue for a lot of you, but it's saying that it can be worked out. Like, it's already written in stone, or that foundation has already been started. There's just a need for both people to be on board and to finish where you guys left off. Yeah, someone's been really stressed because of between two people. Maybe there's also a situation where, you know, someone is very connected to their family. but yet at the same time, they're wanting to be with you. Yeah, I feel like distance is a big factor in regards to a job decision, career decision, or a romantic decision. So I feel that with the Six of Swords here, it's saying just allow things to play out. Just go with the flow. Whatever you're stressed about here, things are going to pan out. You might suddenly feel inspired to do what you need to do in order to make the right decision. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to deck number 3. We have the Nine of Cups, the Seven of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Two of Swords, and we have the Ace of Cups, the Magician, and Strength. Okay. So, some of you are trying to resist someone. There's some sort of flirtation going on. There's some sort of mixed signals. One minute someone is acting really flirty and into you, and the next minute they're not. Or maybe you are behaving this way. I'm getting someone too who is very manipulative, or they're like a Romeo. Someone is coming off like very seductive. I feel like someone is overall practicing self-restraint. Now, I also feel like there could be some sort of significant changes happening in your life at the beginning of Leo season, which should be around July 22nd, somewhere around that time frame. There may be a new beginning starting up. You may be starting a new business, or you may be entering a new relationship. You may be deciding to follow your dreams, goals, your passions, desires. I'm getting mixed energy. I feel that this could be you. Like, you're happy emotionally, you feel complete. Maybe you feel like you have done some sort of service work. You've done some inner work. You've done some soul searching. And now you are just at a place where you feel whole. But then something happens, or you backtrack, and maybe someone says something, and all of a sudden you start having these doubts in yourself, or you don't believe in something anymore. You start getting paranoid about something, overthinking, like your fears just get the best of you. Your imagination gets the best of you. I also feel that there could be something going on where these are two different individuals. One person is coming off very secure in themselves, very confident. Somebody is all about self-love, practicing self-love, just all into the self-love movement. And then this person is just like into the self-doubt movement. I don't believe any of that stuff. This is an optimist and a pessimist, I feel like. The confident person and the person who lacks confidence. The person who's open, ready to give, ready to receive, and the person who's not. The person who has severe anxiety and trust issues. I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anyone but myself. Someone is very, someone's just overthinking something. Maybe you go between these personalities, or maybe this is just like two different individuals with the two nines coming out. Maybe it's just two different individuals trying to come together, but having issues because of, situations or one's lack of confidence. I feel like someone is tired of fighting. They're like, you know what? I'm taking a high road. I don't have time for all this back and forth. So someone is walking away from a fight, or someone may be throwing in the towel, but it still is like, with the sevens, this person is still victorious because they decided to take a different route instead of, fighting or, wasting all of their energy on people coming at them. People might try to do that to you. People might be coming at you for whatever reason. And instead of you arguing and barking back at everybody, you are just going to decide to just walk away. You're like, you know what? I don't care. I don't have time for this. I don't have time to argue. I don't have time to this and that. My life is more important, or I love myself too much to deal with, what you don't believe in. You guys don't believe in me, or you guys keep attacking me, making personal attacks to me, my life, my relationship. I'm just going to walk away right now. I feel like you are getting ready to make some sort of move, or you are deciding to something motivates you or inspires you to go after your dreams, your goals, your desires. I'm getting something about pearl. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did get like a sexual thought. I thought about pearl tongue. I don't know why. Maybe that's something you've been exploring, or maybe this new person coming into your life is really into that. But I did get something about like the pearl tongue, dealing with, the divine feminine sexuality. Maybe you're thinking about exploring that. Maybe something's going on with your sexuality where you are ready to face your inhibitions. Maybe you have some sort of suppressed sexual desires that you're like, you know what, I want to explore this now. I don't care what people say. I know people are against this, but this is my life and I can't be afraid of what people have to say. But at the same time, you kind of are. But you hide that. You might hide your feelings or your thoughts. You don't want people to know that you really are still a scared child on the inside. Yeah, I feel like someone is trying to attack your personal beliefs. And instead of just trying to make someone believe what you believe, it's just best to say, to you be your way and to me mine. Like, tomato, tomato, I'm out. That if that's how you feel, I'm not going to argue with you. You have a right to feel that way. But don't attack me for my beliefs. So for some of you, I feel like you are maybe getting personally attacked really for your own confidence. People might read your confidence the wrong way. People might look at your confidence and think that you're acting conceited or being arrogant or egotistical. And you know within yourself that's not your intent. So you're like, you know what, I'm not arguing with them. It is what it is. If that's what they feel and see, those aren't my intentions. Maybe I need to go find a new group of people to hang with, or maybe I need to, this and that. I know what I believe. So I feel like your confidence is coming off the wrong way, or you're coming off as threatening towards some people. I also am getting something in regards to Saturn. There could have been some sort of delays in something that you wanted to pursue or take action, or if someone wanted to pursue you, there may be some sort of delays. I really feel like those delays are mentally, though. Someone keeps stopping because of their own personal beliefs, or there's someone around you that is very manipulative and gets to your head. This almost makes me feel like someone could be dealing with someone who is verbally abusive, even like subtly. Like, say you are with somebody and you're like, I think I want to open up a yoga class or start a yoga class for people, and someone is threatened by your confidence or your desire or need to be independent. So they're like, really? You think you that good? I don't know, baby. It's people who do that have a lot of experience. That might not be the best for you. And you're like, but I feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. I feel like that's my calling. And they're saying all these things to you, and they say they know what triggers, what your insecurities are. So they say things that make you go back in the corner and doubt yourself and second guess yourself. And you're like, you don't believe in yourself anymore. You're like, if they don't believe in me, maybe I am being delusional. Maybe I am this and that. And you allow someone to say things that make you have setbacks. Let's say that you wanted to relocate or move someplace completely new. And they're like, what you want to go to that place for? Like, what's in that place for you? Maybe you live in New York and you all of a sudden you feel like you want to live in Utah. And they're like, why would you want to go to Utah? That's a Republican state, or that's it's nothing but Mormons there, this and that. And they're like, all you were thinking about was the positive things. You're like, oh, I know it's mountains in Utah. I like their winters. I think it's, you're thinking about all the positive things, but all this person is thinking about is the negative things. And so you get scared and go back into your corner. And then it's like, well, maybe I can't trust to share my hopes and dreams with this person. Someone says something or says things that make you feel like you can't really open up to them then. Someone is having some sort of trust issues. Or maybe you are completely single and you want to put yourself out there to date again, but then you get cold feet. Or you don't like the people that you're meeting and start thinking like, is everybody like this? Is everybody like this? And then you become very guarded. Or you feel like you're moving too fast. Every time you start feeling like you're moving too fast, or you're falling in love too quickly, or you're doing something, that would be considered too quickly, you start getting in your head and feeling like, oh, well, maybe I'm not in the right headspace. Maybe I am crazy. So I feel like there's delays in regards to something moving forward because of manipulation. Now, also what I'm getting with the Magician is someone who's multi-talented. You may be able to make a living from several ways. I see someone who wants to open up a shop, like a metaphysical shop. I see someone who's highly intuitive and gifted, but sometimes you don't know how you're going to start. So you start getting scared and start having second thoughts about it. But I do feel like someone wants to open a metaphysical shop. I feel like you should just trust your intuition. Just trust your intuition. If that's what you feel like your calling is, just don't try to map out the entire plan. Start making baby steps towards it. Maybe one day you want to go look at buildings. Maybe one day you want to give up your apartment and decide to get a place that has both a business and an apartment on the second floor. You know, maybe there's some, just at least start by looking at some spaces and seeing what the rent would be like. Or maybe you want to see if you can do it in your home. Are there any rules and regulations about opening up this business in your home, having people come into your home first? So I feel like you just need to make baby steps. Don't try to plan out the entire process. Just start somewhere. Okay, let me look at, some of you are stressed about your followers too, or what your followers are saying. You have to really just stick to your own guns. Don't worry about if people are going to like you or not. Don't look for validation from followers, just within yourself. All right, let me look at this Nine of Swords. Some of you are embarrassed about being in a spotlight. I feel like you're going to be in a spotlight soon, but it's a good thing, but you don't like it. Yeah, someone is very shy. I feel like it's a situation where someone is like, no, you're very talented. Let me bring you on. Let me introduce you. And you're like, I don't want to interact with people face to face, or I don't want to do this and that. You're not believing in yourself, but somebody else is believing in you. Yeah, for some of you, this is about your career. You're having second thoughts about what it is that you're trying to move forward with. You keep getting caught up into your head and thinking that you're not ready, but everybody else is telling you that you are. Everybody is like, you are ready. I'm telling you, you're ready. And you're like, no, I'm not. I don't feel ready. But I associate this with negative thoughts. So I feel like that's not real. If you feel like you're not ready, that's not true. I feel like you're going to take a break and block people out until you get your own clarity about how you want to go forward in your career. I also see that there's someone who wants to start a business with you. Ooh, okay, now for relationship stuff. I feel that something is going on. Someone is trying to juggle. Someone may have fallen for a coworker, or someone may have fallen for someone while they were working, or who does the same type of who works in the same industry. I'm getting something like in regards to work related. And I feel like someone is now on the fence or confused about who they want to move forward with. It might be you. Maybe you have recently started talking with someone and now you're torn and you're like, oh, I don't know. I see some sort of emotional affair maybe trying to start. Like the thought is there. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but the opportunity is there. Yeah, because this person is in their physical presence. So there could be some sort of something that starts off as an emotional affair, and like someone is having some sort of hidden desire, hidden temptation, and now they're in this person's presence. But they're trying to resist temptation. They're like, no, I'm loyal to this person, or I've got somebody that's at a distance, or just because I'm in a long distance relationship doesn't mean that I'm not loyal. So someone's loyalty may be tested because something is right in your face. It makes me think of someone who is a performer. You know how they're faced with temptation all the time. And it's like, damn, my boyfriend or my girlfriend has always had my back, or they're in my corner. And I, these urges, these sexual urges, like, what am I supposed to do with them? I don't know. Maybe they're walking away from it, even though the opportunity is there, but it's not easy. It's just like, damn, this is hard. This is getting harder and harder. I need to be next to the person that I'm with for whatever reason. What else am I getting here? Something else I was picking up on earlier. Oh yeah, something in regards to someone's hidden fetishes or desires or something. Like if you have some sort of secret fetish or desire, I feel like if you open up and share that with somebody, or share it with your followers or something, you might get judged for it. And it makes you lose trust. So then you decide to just keep it to yourself. Or if you do decide to do something that you were just talking about, you're like, well, if I do decide to do it, I'm not telling anybody. I'm not going to tell them. Let me look at the Two of Swords. If you're torn between, let's say you are in a situation where the grass looks green on the other side. So you're in a relationship, or you're already involved with someone, but someone has now come into the picture, and it's like they're saying all these things. They're really blowing your head up. They're stroking your ego. They're making all these promises, talking about how they would treat you, what they would do for you. I feel that you might be getting duped. Like this person says that to everybody. This is just someone who is not going to back up their word. This is just part of their personality. Matter of fact, I saw Romeo Miller, Master P, his daddy. I saw him on TV earlier, and I was like, God damn, Romeo is fine. And he was like flirting with Wendy. He just had this presence about him that is just so charming. And I do watch, Growing Up Hip Hop. And I look at his behavior, and it's just like, he is so seductive. He is such a charmer. But it's like the minute you start talking about, I really like you, I want to get serious with you, he start like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's just like, well, what was all of that stuff that you were talking about earlier? Finding somebody, I'm not saying that he was talking about living with somebody or starting a family, but just say, for instance, you met with somebody and they're saying all these things. They're saying all the best ththings that you want to hear. I always want to start a family. I thought about children, and I want to take care of my spouse. So, I'm going to put my wife on a pedestal. They just saying all these good things. And then the minute you start getting more serious, you don't see any of that, or they start backing away. It's, someone is not matching up with what they are saying. But I feel like it's a situation where if you are torn between two people, one person is talking a good game and the other person is real, who they are. Like, you really need to discern, or distinguish who's real and who's fake. You might come to the realization that someone has just been, talking a lot of shit, not really living up to whatever they promised. You might be upset that you even failed for something. Or you might regret thinking that the grass was greener on the other side. I see somebody ignoring their intuition about something too. So someone is in denial of themselves or what they already know or something that they have learned. They're kind of like, I don't believe it. Maybe you saw something that enlightened you, that was helping you make a decision, but you're in denial about it. Something is inspiring you to do more research. You're like, I need to do more research on this. I need to look more about what this is. I see somebody playing mind games too, but that's going to change. Everything's going to shift. Yeah, this reading for some of you might extend all the way out until Leo season. Some of you really still need to figure out some things. I see something about learning about soulmates. I feel like some of you are having some sort of realization. Something brings, maybe someone brings something to your attention about your spiritual path. Maybe you're realizing that someone is a reflection of your past traumas, because the sun illuminates the moon, whatever is hidden. So someone may have brought something to your attention about your own personal self. And now you're like, let me see. Let me take a look for myself. I don't believe you. Let me look for myself. So some of you are, you know, regardless of what someone has told you, you're like, I'll believe it when I see it, or I need to understand this myself. You know, that's an interesting theory, but I need to do my own research. And which you should. You know, you can't take someone's word for what it is. You need to make sure it's resonating with you and in alignment with your path. But I feel like because of something that was brought to your attention, now has you on the right path, or your spiritual journey here. This is what you were meant to do. This is what you were meant to research. Maybe you're discovering that you are supposed to be an astrologer. Maybe you've been avoiding that. You're like, I like astrology, but I don't think that's my calling. And then all of a sudden, but somebody kept saying, I think you're supposed to be an astrologer. And then all of a sudden you do discover that you have a deep passion for it, and it is your calling. So yeah, those are the messages that I am getting for you guys. I hope it helps. I hope it resonates. Feel free to leave your comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Many blessings to you.